Hey guys, what's going on? Katie Day with the Moving to Texas team down here in Houston, Texas, here with Nikki Graham and Paige Bowman to talk all things real estate in Houston, Texas. What's going on, guys?
Happy Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday?
Happy?
It is Tuesday.
Because we're here. We're live. It's Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
Taco Tuesday.
Does anyone have tacos?
Nope. Well, I'm just going to keep that streak going.
I've got deconstructed tacos here, which is basically turkey and rice and green beans.
Any hot sauce in it?
No. Everything bagel seasoning, which is my cure-all for meal prep. I don't love meal prep, so I just cover it in, basically garlic and pepper and, whatever else is in everything bagel seasoning, poppy seeds, I guess. And that's my alternative. But hello, good people out there. If you are watching, let us know where you're watching from. If you're here in Houston or not local, let us know where you are at as you watch on either Facebook or YouTube. So it's been 2 weeks since we've last convened here for Taco Tuesday. And I think, what day is it? Yeah, and the rollover of a new month. So Q1 is over. We're now in Q2. What's been going on, guys? What's new?
Still busy.
Yeah, still busy. The market's still crazy. Just in a different quarter and a new month.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
It's warmer outside, which is nice. And I appreciate that.
That is nice. Yeah.
It's been really nice weather.
It's like perfect patio weekend drinking weather.
It's that awkward time though, where it's like you go between like, is it hot out or is it cold out? So like you leave the house in like pants and like, a blazer or a sweatshirt or jacket or something. And then you like walk outside and you're like, oh God, I'm overdressed. I think actually, Paige, this past weekend, or was it 2 weekends ago, we met up and you were like, you texted me, you're like, I'm going to be late. I have to go back inside and change. And I was like, what happened? You're like, I was wearing a sweatshirt and pants. Like,
it was awful. I don't know what I was thinking. Like walked outside and I was like, oh God, it's 80 degrees.
We've got opening day. Well, home opening day here this week.
I will be there.
Yeah. Do you have season tickets?
I do have season tickets.
How long have you had those?
Well, my first season to get them was 2019, or 2020, sorry. So I've technically had them for 2 seasons, but everything's fine.
Yeah. Huh.
Quite You're even more excited about this year.
Oh, I'm super, super, super excited.
Cool. Good deal. Well, So I guess let's dig into what we wanted to talk about today and chat. So one thing that I feel like we all have been having a lot of conversations recently with both buyers and sellers, but buyers for sure is, you're hearing that it's a seller's market. So what does that mean for you? How much money over list price am I going to have to put an offer in? Are you seeing bidding wars? I'm just trying to think of all the buzz phrases, bidding wars, over ask, like all these things, right? So what I wanted to kind of do is break it down of like what we're actually seeing for our clients, because we, both all work with a lot of, buyers and sellers throughout the market. In different price points, different neighborhoods, things like that. So kind of just wanted to dig into what's going on in the market and what you could expect if you're thinking about possibly buying this year. So what are your guys' thoughts? I guess, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it still depends on where you're looking. It depends on the location because certain locations obviously have less inventory than some of the others. It depends on, the price point that you're looking in. Of course, we're seeing multiple offers across the board, but, less offers or maybe not any multiple offers if you're in certain areas. I have, some clients who are concerned about bidding wars, but, some of the homes that they're looking at might not necessarily really have those. So we don't have to worry about it. And then, of course, with other clients, we're, looking at some properties that are off market to help them not have to get into those situations. So, or new construction. So there's so many different avenues. It really just depends on if you want to avoid that. Let's talk about how we can do that.
Yeah, for sure. Paige, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, same situation, but we're also seeing and kind of advocating for people to kind of dig into the renovation loan sector, which is a whole different conversation for a whole other time. But honestly, like going and finding these homes that have been on the market for 100 days or 200 days, like what's wrong with them? And then does it make sense to invest in doing a renovation loan to update the property to your liking? And so then you're not getting yourself into it anymore, and you're able to actually leverage that. Like, hey, I'm going to offer you maybe even less than list, and then I'm going to go in and update the property to my liking. And then it almost is a new construction home, because in some cases you're able to update the paint, the cabinets, all of the things that make it feel newer. And so we're definitely advocating for that. And then again, we have tons of realtors that are like door knocking and finding these off list properties and doing some legwork for your buyer, which is super, super important.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, so I think, kind of talking about that legwork, some of the things that we do, in regards to looking for properties that are off market, right? Like we will, send out letters, call, and door knock neighborhoods. Like, so, obviously if you're like, I want to live in the entire town of Cypress, like that's a little bit more difficult, but like for the clients that are like, I want a 4-bedroom with a game room with a lot at least this size in these 3 neighborhoods, we can target in on those neighborhoods and call, door knock, send letters. And generally when we do that for our clients, we get a couple inquiries back of like, I wasn't thinking about selling, but like what price were they thinking? Or we were thinking about selling, but didn't want to put it on the market and deal with that. Or, we weren't sure where we were going to go yet, so if you're in that position, a lot of times we're able to negotiate terms that are advantageous to both parties, right? To like give the seller more time to find their own home, get the buyer in when they want to be in and things like that. So, I mean, that's definitely something that we, look to do. I think, I think that that's really important. One of the things I guess I want to talk about a little bit more is like, okay, so what are you all telling buyers, as far as like, okay, I'm looking to buy, but I know it's a seller's market. Like, what are some things or what are some key points that you tell? Like one of the things that I actually just pulled the other day was that, that last month, sales prices on single family homes in Houston, the list price to sales price ratio was anywhere between 83% up to 110, right? So like basically what that means is that, they were selling for anywhere between 83% to 110% of what they were listed at when they sold. So like that could mean, if you're looking at a $300,000 house, trying to do more math than I'm good at right now, that would be at 250, right? And then if 330 on the other side. So like there is a little bit of a spread. So like, does every home sell with multiple offers? No. Do we see a lot of multiple offers? Yes. Like, can you get a good deal? Not necessarily, but like, are there deals to be had? Yes, maybe. Right. So like, it's not an end all be all. Like, we have 1.6 months of inventory. Like there are some places in like North Carolina and like Austin, for example, that are like 0.6. Right. So like we still have inventory, just about 57% less than this time last year. So what are you guys saying to clients? And what are you advising them as far as things to do?
Oh, please, that's me.
Paige, or would you like to say something?
Oh, no. Oh,
no?
Me?
Okay.
So I want to kind of asterisk what you're saying. Can I get a good deal? You said no, but the reality is, can you get a good deal? The answer is almost yes, because your interest rate is a full percentage point less than what it was this time. I guess maybe not this time 2 years ago, but this time in like Q4 of 2019, really Q3 and Q4 of 2019.
Yeah. What's going to happen as interest rates continue to increase?
Buying power will decrease. So, and your payment will go up. So while you're saying, no, you're not getting a good deal, sure, you might be paying a little bit overpriced for the home, but you're getting the home for your payment is less and you're paying less interest over time. So you say that, but then I also kind of say, hey, you are actually still getting a decent deal in terms of kind of what you can afford. But that's all that I have on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would agree on the interest rates for sure. You know, I was actually just telling a client that earlier, you know, like if I was approved for 300K last, or, you know, 2018, 2019, I could possibly be approved for 400K this year, you know, and that's strictly by way of interest rates.
100%.
So that's, yeah, so I mean, that's something that's definitely, but like, I think when I say like, or am I going to get a good deal? It's when people are like, oh, I want to get something 50 grand under list, or I want to get something. So that's where I'm referring to like finding a deal. Like, are there deals to be had? Yes, there are some times in which you can get something below list, or we can negotiate closing costs, or we can get the closing date you want, or whatever it may be, a whole number of things. But like, we're not in a buyer's market where you're like, I'm going to pick which home I want today. Like, and there's 50 of them. Like,
Yeah.
so
Good luck.
Yeah.
yeah.
Keep me
Nikki,
posted.
what were you going to say?
What is it?
Well,
no.
were you going to say something before Paige tried to jump through the camera?
No, I was making fun. I was poking at Paige for raising her hand. She's a good student.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you. Arnold asks, missed the investing podcast. Can go back and watch it, Arnold. But are there any thoughts on investing in new build construction in this current market? Usually returns are expected after 5 years. I would be interested to know, Arnold, if you're saying investing and purchasing it as a rental, or just buying it and selling it in 5+ years. Do we want to talk the rental route, Paige or Nikki?
Investing in
a new build as a rental,
and then renting it.
Yeah.
Getting money. Again, it kind of goes back to the area.
Can be profitable.
Yeah.
Anything can be profitable.
Yeah.
I mean, really, truly, anything can be profitable. So, I mean, I think it's, you know, what's your hold time look like? What are you willing to invest? What are the rental rates? There's a lot of key factors that go into investing in new construction. I mean, your cost of repairs is going to be down, right? Because everything is new. So your cost of repairs is going to be down. So it's just kind of a, you know, it definitely is, I think, area specific.
I think one thing to think about too is like, if you're buying a new construction house, you're going to rent it out for a few years. It's going to need to be at least 5+ years before you sell it for some sort of appreciation, because for a lot of these homes, especially in a lower price point for new construction, you're going to be in an area that's seeing a lot of gentrification and development. So like, chances are the house that you buy, there's going to be homes very similar to it down the street and around the corner and across the street and in that entire zip code, right? So if you're thinking about, you know, Fifth Ward, Spring Branch, Independence Heights, like there's a lot of construction. But like, then if you look at like, you know, East Downtown, for example, right? Or Midtown or Heights, or places that are a little bit more established, right? Like values, you know, are a little bit more established and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I think purchasing new construction, less repairs, generally, you know, you're going to have tenants that are like young professionals, because, you know, if you're buying homes, that's generally who's moving into them near there. But like, also new construction, we're just talking about inner loop. If you're looking to purchase new construction, like the suburbs, we need to get Andrea on here, because she has been absolutely killing it in the new construction suburb market. Like, I think, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think she's probably put, God, I would say maybe 10 clients under construction with new construction, new builds in the burbs. And she's going from like Porter to Magnolia to Hockley to Cypress to Spring to the Woodlands. Like, she's all over. Katie.
Yeah. That's her niche, like, for sure. Like, she does so great with that.
I'm like looking for her. Like, she's like, I can put her into the live stream.
Yeah.
Andrea, if you're watching, let me know if you want to hop on. But yeah, so Andrea's on our team. She's been killing it in the new construction on the suburbs, and she's working with both investors, right, that are looking to rent them, as well as actual buyers that are looking to buy and live there as their primary residence. Yeah. Are there certain areas that are going over list price, or is it a certain price point? Yes.
Yes. Just yes.
No. So I think what we see.
Good. That's so good.
I think what we see by way of things that are going over list is generally when homes are priced well and look good, they sell quickly, which I know is like super elementary, right? But like the homes that are, you know, priced at market value, or maybe even slightly above, but like at market value, they're clean and functional and safe and look good. Like, are generally going to have multiple offers. And I think that that's it at all price points. I would say probably once you're getting into 750 and higher, it's less likely. Maybe 500 and higher, it's less likely. But I mean, I've been in multiple offer situations that, for a 500K home and for a 200K home. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, even in the Heights area, I know some agents who are dealing with multiple offer situations for, those higher priced homes. So I don't think we're just seeing it only in the suburbs or the lower price points. I think we're seeing it kind of filter up.
Yeah, I showed a client a $1.3 million home in the Heights the other day. And, I knew it was going to go quickly because it looked good. It was priced well and, all of the things. And then like that night I got an email from the listing agent that was like, we have multiple offers and we're, deadline of Monday at X PM or whatever it was. And I was like, I knew it. And like 1.3 million, right? Like,
and then there are some that are, sitting on the market. So it really, truly, it's like how you show, it's how you present yourself. And, yes.
Well, and I think like with that being said too, like, on the seller's side, like I posted a TikTok about this today. I post a TikTok once every quarter. So I posted my Q2 TikTok. But I was looking through.
Early. She's early. She's peeking early.
Out of the way.
Boom. So it's a seller's market, right? Like we can all agree it's a seller's market, but like even in a seller's market, you should not skimp on your marketing. I literally went through a listing. So in our MLS, we can put up to 50 photos on a listing, right? Generally we don't, unless it's like a, 3,000 square foot home. Like you don't need 14 pictures of the office, right? Like, but like 50 pictures can be done. This home, it was like a 2,000-ish square foot home, standard, 2-3 bedroom inside the loop, townhome style, whatever. It had 19 photos, and I'm pretty sure they were taken with a cell phone. Like the depth of the room was like this, basically like my webcam right now. Like my webcam could actually probably take better pictures than cell phone photos that this person put up online. They were dark as hell. Toilet seats were up. Like it was terrible. And I'm like, that property's probably not going to sell, and it's probably a great home. Like it's probably a really nice house, but like you have shitty photos that your agent took that like, even though it's a seller's market, there's no reason to skimp on marketing. So anyone
with the same asterisk in there, we have a client who submitted an offer of $50,000 over on a 6-bedroom, 5.5 bath, 5-car garage in Katy, and the home had one picture, and it was from Google Maps, and they did highest and best. They did showings for one day and highest and best. But I truly believe that you have to have good pictures. That is a one instance where it was like literally the only 5-car garage, 6-bedroom in the entire neighborhood. But in every other situation, you have to have good marketing. You cannot skimp. Like good pictures are everything. And not just pictures, like give some detail in the dang MLS description.
Well, that's the property in Katy. The property in Katy sold that quickly with that many offers because one, that's a unicorn. And two, there's 0.6 months of inventory in Katy. There's only 300 homes for sale in the entire GD city of Katy right now. So like, it went that way.
Yeah, but you have to have good pictures. You just like, it's literally, you're presenting yourself to the world. And how do you present yourself? Do you show up in your pajamas with your hair all a mess or do you put yourself together?
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so that's just something that I feel very strongly about. Especially like even in this market, because here's the thing is like, okay, for that home, like, yes, that worked well for them. But like, if you're selling your home for 200K or 300K or whatever it is, like, could you have gotten more if you would have marketed it properly? So that's just a plea to all of the sellers out there. Ensure that you are still looking for an agent that's going to use professional photos, video, websites, all the works to make sure that your home gets out to the most amount of people.
What would 5 to 10% more in value get you as a person? Could that pay off your car? Could that give you more money for down payment? Could that take away all of your credit card debt? Like what could that do for you?
Yeah. Paige, in 50 seconds or less. No, I'm just kidding. And in summary, what can you provide as far as appraisals and banks using historical values for appraisals? Not a fan of signing an appraisal waiver. Looking in Bridgeland. Bridgeland's a great community. Let me just asterisk this. They are opening a new section in Bridgeland next year, 2022. So Arnold, I don't know when you are looking to move, but that should open up more inventory in the Bridgeland area over the next year. But I mean, obviously that's 2022, so it's a little time away. Appraisals page, what do you got?
So appraisals are based on historic values. They're based on the snapshot of the market in the past 6 to 12 months. And so yes and no, it is going to be based on historic values. Fannie Mae actually has a whole system in place that, you know, it basically tells you if the appraisal is good or not based on the comps that are used. So yes, it is a historic snapshot in time, but you have to think about how many homes have sold in neighborhoods over the past few months. And so it's really only a snapshot of the past 3 months. So, I mean, signing an appraisal waiver, obviously, I'm not going to advise anybody to not do that if they're not comfortable, but with a good agent, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah. And depending on the terms, depending on the terms that you're submitting for an offer, like I've seen some agents that are saying like, hey, you have to submit an appraisal waiver, but like, depending on the terms that you're submitting and like, if we're like laying that out to the listing agent and stuff like that, like, it doesn't always have to, you don't always have to do that. Paige, I think this is more for you. How can someone qualify for a second home if they already have a home in another state and they plan to rent out that home in the other state?
So 2 ways. One, you qualify with both homes. The second way would be we get a signed lease agreement for the home that you're planning on leasing out. Does not have to be within an X amount of time. Typically, we say it's within common times to lease a home, which is typically 60 to 90 days. And then we would typically not count that mortgage against you. There are other caveats to it, but that was the quick answer.
Yeah, quick and dirty, easy. Paige, I know that one thing that we were talking about prior to this, live stream was that like we wanted to kind of talk about like what to expect as a buyer in the market. What about some things to like not do when you're searching for a home? What would be some things that you would recommend or talk about there?
Yeah, definitely. So my first tip is do not apply for new credit while you're under contract. In fact, once you get pre-approved, don't apply for any new credit because that could change your qualifications. And whether you believe it or not, we are always monitoring your credit once you're under contract, and we will know, I promise you. And
that's not ominous.
Yeah, I'm watching you. The second thing would be this is me. The second thing would be no large deposits in your bank account. If you are going to do anything that's out of the usual and out of the norm, just give your lender a call, because the reality is it could not be anything, but wouldn't you rather know than not know? Don't quit your job. If you take a pay decrease, I know some people are doing that because of COVID, taking like a 25% pay decrease. Just let us know. Like, go ahead, Katie.
Well, I was say is, I know some people, like if they were temporarily laid off or, furloughed or things like that. Could we talk about that as well?
Yeah. So if you were furloughed, totally most of the time okay, as long as you're back to work. I've been back to work for the last couple of months. So like literally, I know plenty of people personally and professionally that were unfortunately lost their job for a short period of time due to COVID. As long as you're back to work and you've been back to work and your hours haven't been impacted and you're working post or pre-COVID hours, then, we should be totally fine. Obviously a good letter of explanation and we're good to go. Obviously that does play into and could be different for each person. I would say a huge delay right now in closings is people not signing their documents in a timely manner. I know that seems so silly, but we can't actually order your appraisal. No lender can order your appraisal. We can't do a lot of things without signed documents. So when you're getting stuff, just be on the lookout. A lot of people are like, I'm not checking my email. And I'm like, you're going through a process where you have to check your email, and just check it once a day at 7 p.m. and just, every day at 7 p.m. just check your email. So just signing those documents, asking questions, making sure that that's, done as soon as possible, and ordering the appraisal literally day 2 of being under contract, because the reality is appraisals are taking 14 to 21 days to come in. And so that appraiser is not going to have gone out to the property by the time that you've negotiated your terms. And so with just the high amount of orders, it's just taking longer. And so why not just go ahead and get ahead of that to make sure that you're meeting all of your deadlines and not delaying anything.
Yeah, we had 2 properties go under contract on the same day last week. One of them immediately called to schedule the appraisal, but they scheduled it for like 14 days out, right? Mm-hmm. And then the other one didn't schedule it until like yesterday, and they were calling for today. Like, so it's kind of crazy. Like, some appraisers are like, oh, like, I'm booking my schedule out 2 weeks out. And others are like, oh, this is around the corner for me. I'll go tomorrow, you know? So ordering it soon is definitely good, because you can always tell the appraiser, like, no, like, can we do it?
Put it on hold. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah, so it's just like common sense things, right? But I understand. I say common sense, but then I also say that with the caveat: when you're buying a home, it's stressful, it's emotional, and it's stressful. So just things that you would think would be common sense, unfortunately, that's you're doing a million things, and so that, and trying to live your normal life. So just always call your lender if you have questions about anything, and if your lender's not available, call your realtor. Like, most of the time, you guys will know. Y'all been doing this. You're going to know, hey, I've got $10,000 cash. Can I deposit it? Like,
no, just give it to me. Just give it to me.
Hand it. I'll hold it for you. I'll hold it. I'm gonna spend it. I'm not gonna give it back.
Full service agent here. I will more than happy keep that for you forever.
Thanks for being wonderful.
I do what I can.
No, and Paige, like, going off that, that's the reason I always tell my clients, like, it's so important for you to have a local lender, if you can, that is going to pick up the phone, is going to answer your questions, and you can stay in constant communication, and your realtor as well, because those 2 people are your best friends whenever you're buying a home. Like, you need to be in contact with them.
Paige.
Vic. Yeah. So Vic, yes, there are some caveats. It's crazy. A lot of Canadians are moving to Texas. I'm not even kidding you. This week alone, it's Tuesday, I've talked to 3 Canadians that are moving to Houston. So
Canadians are the nicest. That's great.
Oh, they are, eh? I just had to, because they say, I love it. Yes, there are some differences for you as a foreigner in getting terms of a mortgage. It's called the Foreign National Program. We do offer it. There are some specific brokers that specifically that's all they do. But yes, it is a little bit different, but not a huge difference. No. That's all.
Okay. So I am just typing up Paige's contact information here real quick, so that if you all have any direct questions that you want to, you can shoot her an email. Let's see.
Find me on Instagram.
Oh, sorry.
Golly, Katie, thanks for plugging me.
Just trying to, make sure people have it. Her Instagram is there. And if you've got questions in regards to buying a house, we'll talk. Okay, you good? We good now?
Yeah.
All right. We got this here. If you're looking to buy, you got Nikki down there.
Somewhere.
Nikki's helping you buy a house. Cool, y'all. So we will be back in 2 weeks for another Taco Tuesday. I actually just pinged Andrea to see if she wanted to come on and talk about new construction. Because I do know all of the burbs. No, I do know the burbs and my way around them. But Andrea has been in all of them over the past 3 months. So as much as Nikki and I are in them as well, I feel like Andrea has been absolutely killing it on the knowing the new construction and talking to all the builders and all that. So
she's our burb queen. Burb queen of the burbs. Queen of the burbs.
She's like, I doubt she's watching, because if she was, she'd be texting us. Like, let me actually ask.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, no, she's not listening. She just she's in for Taco Tuesday on April 20th. Oh, wait, no.
Hi, guys. There she is.
There she is. What an angel. What an angel she is.
Sweet angel.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much for joining today. This was fun.
It was good.
Always.
All right. So next 2 weeks, 420, we are talking about
all things, something.
New construction.
Oh, new construction. I love it. New construction. And are we going to eat tacos, guys?
We do.
I'm eating my deconstructed tacos. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right. Peace out.